Presentation to order. May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Staples.
Here.
Ms. Mount.
Here.
Mr. Kelleher.
Here.
Mrs. Servanek.
Here.
Ms. Winkler.
Here.
Ms. Biscardi.
Here.
Mr. P.
Here.
Adequate notice was published on Monday, January 10, 2022 in the Asbury Park Press. The mentioned time to advise specifying the time and place of the meeting. The statement to this effect shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting. Before we go into closed session, I'm going to ask Mr. Monahan to swear in our board member from Lakewood.
Perfect. Come on up here. We'll do this. There we go. Put your left hand on there and raise your right hand. I state your full name.
Joel Merkin,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear.
I'll support the Constitution of the United States,
I'll support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to
and to the government
the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and this state
and this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
So help me God. So help me God. So help me God. I state your full name.
I, Joel Merkin,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear.
I possess the qualifications
I possess the qualifications
for the office
with the office
of a member
of a member
of the Board of Education.
of the Board of Education.
I am not disqualified as a voter.
I am not disqualified as a voter.
I am not disqualified for membership
I am not disqualified for membership
due to a conviction of a crime.
due to a conviction of crime.
I will faithfully,
I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all of these
of the court to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
That's it, sir.
We're going to take a roll call with the board members. Mr. Staples.
Here.
Ms. Mount.
Here.
Mr. Kelleher.
Here.
Mrs. Servanek.
Here.
Mr. Merkin.
Here.
Ms. Winkler.
Here.
Ms. Biscardi.
Here.
Mr. P. Here. Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act permits exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. Whereas this public body is of the opinion such circumstances presently exist. Now therefore be it resolved by the Manchester Township Board of Education as follows. Public shall be excluded from discussion during after specified subject matters. The general nature of the subject matters to be discussed is legal personnel negotiations. Anticipated these matters will be made public within 60 days. This resolution shall become effective immediately. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
All in favor?
We'll be back in approximately a half hour. I'd like to reconvene the February meeting of Manchester Township Board of Education. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Staples. Here. Ms. Mount.
Here.
Mr. Kelleher.
Here.
Mrs. Servanek.
Here.
Mr. Merkin. Here. Ms. Winkler.
Here.
Ms. Biscardi.
Here.
Me. Here.
Please join me in the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, nice to see a full crowd here tonight. It's always good to see. Welcome to our meeting tonight. Tonight is like a new beginning. You always did when you have a new superintendent coming in and going through stuff. So we just want to, I'm going to be very, very short so you can hear from him because he has some things he wants to present to you. But I do thank you all for coming out as we enter this new era of education here in Manchester Township. It should be an exciting time. We're looking for some changes. We're looking for some, as you always get, if you're in the business world or in the education world, it doesn't make any difference. You guys at top, there's always changes. There's always improvements and things going forward. We're looking forward to that. So I'm going to hand it over now.
Thank you.
Go.
All right, thank you so much. So first, we do have some presentations. We have the Student Recognition, the Fleet Reserve Association Americanism Essay Contest winners. So I'd like to invite you up to the podium.
Good evening. I'm Sharon Monday. I'm a retired Navy Master Chief Petty Officer and the Secretary for the Fleet Reserve Association and also the Americanism Patriotism Essay Contest jury. We are here today to explain that from the 7th through the 12th grade, annually we have this essay contest for all the students to write an essay concerning the subject matter. This year, the 7th grade of Manchester gave me over 80 essays this time, we could not individually give every seventh grader recognition for their entries. So our branch president, Raymond Rizzo, is going to read the presentation that we would like to present to the principal so that you can give it out to the seventh grade teachers to thank them for their entries into this. So this is the presentation as it reads.
Good evening, everyone. Monday said, my name is Raymond Rizzo. I'm the president of the Fleet Reserve Association Lakehurst. I'm a retired Navy chief. I retired in 2018 off Lakehurst. I'll read this presentation. Americanism, Patriotism, Recognition Certificate. Special award presented to Manchester Township Middle School, 7th grade, by the members of the Fleet Reserve Association. Signed, Sharon Monday, Americanism, Patriotism Chairman, President Raymond Rizzo. Dated 1 February 2022.
Oh, extra time.
Also, our 7th grade winner. Certificate, special award presented to Manchester Township Middle School. Sabina Lane, 7th grade winner, by the members of the Fleet Reserve Association. Sharon Monday, Americanism Patriotism Chairman. Raymond Rizzo, President. 1 February 2022.
And we do have our 11th grade recipient here, Charles Seidel, from 11th grade high school.
Special award presented to Manchester Township High School. Charles Seidel, 11th grade winner, by the members of the Fleet Reserve Association. Signed, Sharon Monday, Americanism Patriotism Chairman. President Raymond Rizzo. Dated 1 February 2022.
Everybody good shot? You know, shot?
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. The essays were awesome this year. We really had a hard time picking winners. I look forward to next year's essay contest again. And the 7th graders who will be 8th graders, send us 100 more, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We also want to thank the Fleet Reserve Association for their patriotism and for their service to our country. We appreciate
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for your service. Next, we also have, we want to honor an Eagle Scout this year, Charles Seidel. So last year he achieved the Eagle Scout award, the recognition, and unfortunately we weren't able to have him in person due to COVID, so tonight we wanted to invite him up to be able to tell us a little bit about his project and his journey to becoming an Eagle Scout.
Hi, so my Eagle project was the church near the Lakehurst Elementary School, and my project, since I couldn't have that many participants help me, was like deep cleaning the church, so the elderly were able to go downstairs, be able to have meetings, and upstairs, because the attics were all cluttered and it was very dangerous for them to go up and down the stairs, and just for them that easy access. And a little bit about my journey through Eagle Scout was just learning through everything and having good experiences with different people and having a good judge of character from them and learning from the other scouts and what they have learned through as well.
I'll ask a question. What troop are you in? You didn't identify your troop.
My troop? Troops 250. We didn't have enough scouts anymore, So it did get disbanded, but before it did get disbanded, Scout leader and her son and me were able to make it before we got disbanded.
What was your favorite badge to work on?
Favorite badge was, I want to say cooking, because I did add Balkanicking, which is one of the summer camps, and the counselors there were really good with it, and
The pool is fantastic. They have a fantastic pool at Army.
yeah, they really do, and yeah, and the people I met there while doing the cooking and badge were really fun as well.
What was the hardest badge you did? Don't say emergency preparedness. Everybody says emergency preparedness. I'm not gonna say that one.
Probably, I want to say environmental science. So I did that early while in Alphanicking. Even though it was still fun, it was also challenging.
Great job. Very good. Thank you.
Charles, we actually have a plaque for you. Well, if you want to come up.
Give me the chairs, everyone.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Great job.
Next. All right, next we have our student government representatives. If you'd like to come up and provide an update.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
We're here on behalf of the 9th grade SGA in Township High School.
My name is Asa Ramos, and I'm the president.
My name is Riley Hayes, and I'm the vice president, and I'm Ella Raycroft, the secretary.
This month has been a very eventful month. Our freshman class is doing a teacher sale. That is including our motto, "We will thrive, class of 25," and preparing for our upcoming pretzel sale. The sophomore class has been waiting for approval on the Easter fundraiser. The junior class is doing food sales from February 7th to March 21st. Preparing for a Chipotle fundraiser on March 9th. And waiting for approval for a Chick-fil-A or Buffalo Wild Wings fundraiser. And lastly, the senior class has been preparing baskets, finding a restaurant for their 100 Nights event, and a karaoke teachers versus students fundraiser. They are also bringing together a prom committee for their upcoming prom on May 20th.
We are very excited for all these upcoming events. That concludes our report on Manchester High School SGA. We would like to thank the Board of Education for having us here tonight. And we'd like to thank Mr. Oster, Mr. Adams, Ms. People, and Mrs. Armando for all their support.
And before we go, we wanted to say welcome to Manchester Township, Mr. Bernardo. We cannot wait to grow by your side. Thank you.
Those of you that may not know, the legislature in Trenton has passed a resolution now that starting in September, there will be a member of the student body from the high school sitting with the Board of Education. They'll be non-voting, they can't vote, can't go to closed session, that kind of stuff. But they'll be sitting with us and having the presence of the students with us at all times and telling us the things that are going on going forward. So I don't think, Mr. Adams, we got the process ready, how we're going to do that? Probably not, it's still in the developmental stages on that, right? Okay, so we do report that. Starting in September, we will be having that as a member of the board here. And everything in the state. Report to that.
All right, so I apologize in advance, but my report is quite lengthy. It's been an eventful 2 weeks for me. I just want to thank everybody for the warm welcome, whether it was coming in person to meeting with me or an email, cards. It's really just been great meeting everyone, so thank you for that. I'd like to thank the Board of Education. I'm excited for us to work as a team to really lead excellence by example, and to really move this district forward in every way that we can for our students. I know that a lot of you have been emailing me and reaching out to my office, but I did want to provide my cell phone number. It's my cell phone number. You can call me, text me, to the community, to anyone that's there, 732-648-1842. You're welcome to contact me whether you have any issues or concerns. I just want to be available to you. So I've been working with the administration and doing meet and greets for the past week. We're going to continue doing that at the schools with the teachers and with the bus drivers this morning. And really, it's, I want to be visible. I want to be available in the district. I want to be in the schools and available to parents, teachers, and everyone around. I'm going to host my first community event. We're calling it Java with John, and there will be coffee there and some sweet treats. We're going to start off at Whiting Elementary, and I just want to let you know that it's not specific to just Whiting Elementary parents and students. Anyone in the community can come to that. It's going to be on March 3rd at 6 p.m. I sent out a survey about communication. We're trying to improve the communication that we have with the community. If you haven't filled out the survey already, we just want to get an idea of what's the best mode of communication for you. Every family is different, and we want to make sure that the information that's coming out to you is timely, and then also that you know where to find the information. On the agenda tonight, we have 2 staff members that are retiring. We have Timothy Hinger. He's our ROTC teacher at the high school. We'd like to thank him for his 13 years of service. And then we also have Shelby York. She's a bus driver, and she's been here for 22 years, so thank you very much. If you haven't seen on Facebook or our website, we're in desperate need of substitutes. So if you're a teacher substitute, it's $120 a day. If you're interested, you can contact our Board of Education office. You'll see in the agenda that we're going to be increasing the rate for our substitute nurses. So if you're interested in becoming a substitute nurse, we're going to be increasing that rate once approved to $200 per day. And then we also are in need of substitute bus drivers, and that $18 an hour for that. We also have some full-time bus driver positions available, and it does come with health benefits, so if you're interested in that. On the agenda tonight, we have our 2022-2023 school calendar up for approval. What you'll notice on the calendar is that we included 2 snow days. That's not something that was generally included in the school calendar here at Manchester. Seeing as the challenges that we had this year with a couple of closures, and really just to have some consistency within our calendar, we did include 2 snow days, so that way we can hopefully not move graduation or have to move any of those end of the year activities that we have scheduled in the event that we do have inclement weather or have to close the school for any reason. You'll also notice that there's a number of early dismissal days. Substitute coverage is a challenge for our district. So what we're trying to do is incorporate some early dismissals so that way we can provide professional development to the teachers and give adequate notice to parents so that way they know what days we're going to have early dismissals versus having them approved within our agenda throughout the year. It really just gives our families an opportunity to schedule ahead, whether it's vacations and childcare. Also, we can provide job and better professional development for the teachers without having to use substitute coverage. The next thing we're excited about is we're going to be having our board policies available online. So you'll be able to go on and see those policies as they're approved, in case you need to reference them. So that's on the agenda this evening as well. I know many of you are going to be excited for this next one. You saw my letter that came out, but the mask mandate has been lifted as of March 7th. So Manchester Township School District will be moving to mask optional. So if staff members or students want to wear the mask, they may, but it will not be mandated. The only caveat to that is right now we're waiting for additional legislation to come out. Currently, students will still be required to wear their mask on the bus. School buses are considered public transportation, and that component of the mask mandate has not been lifted, and that's actually a federal requirement that we have to adhere to. The 2 other things that I wanted to address with that is that the quarantine period right now requires, we've shifted from 10 days to 5 days. Now with that, if a student has to quarantine or a staff member has to quarantine, it's a 5-day quarantine, but the 5 days following that, they have to wear their masks. They would have to keep that on during their quarantine period in order to come back to work or school. And if you're not vaccinated, we still have a weekly testing requirement that's still in effect for the state of New Jersey, so we'll still be providing that on Fridays. And the last thing is that our daily screenings for staff and students will also wrap up, so beginning on March 7th, we will no longer complete those. We have our budget presentations on March 1st at 5 p.m. We'll be doing it in this room. Looking forward to hearing from the principals and the administration about their budgets and what we can look forward to next school year. Our kinder prep program is going to be hosted at Ridgeway Elementary on March 8th at 6:30. And this is an opportunity for our incoming kindergarten parents to hear more about our program and to be able to receive assistance to register their child for kindergarten. Yesterday was SRO Appreciation Day, and with that, I just wanted to thank all of our officers that keep our school safe. So thank you to everyone, whether you're an SRO, a Class 3, or retired police officer. Thank you for your service and your dedication to our school. One thing I'd like to take a moment to address is just our special education department. As you know, we have hired Mrs. Antonucci as our Director of Special Services. I've had the opportunity since I started here to really work closely with her to dive deeper into what we're offering to our special education students. And she and I have begun what will be a long process, but an audit of the special education department. And we're really looking at the positions that we're offering the certifications, the programs and services for our students. And one thing that we are both dedicated and committed to is taking students' needs and matching programs and services to their needs instead of putting students into programs that are already existing here. You'll see in the coming months that we're going to be looking at students that have an out-of-district placement. We want to bring them back to their home district, and we want to create programs that are designed for them here and that meet their needs. We're also going to be working with the child study team to look at the way their IEPs are developed, the goals and objectives that are there, and really start to personalize learning for those students. And we're going to continue to expand opportunities for students to learn beyond the school day. You'll see on our agenda tonight, we have our learning loss program that we're offering at each of the elementary schools and the middle school. We're looking at expanding any opportunities to be able to accelerate learning for all of our students. In addition to that, we did a needs assessment, kind of looking at current student needs, looking at program needs, in consultation with our building principals and our curriculum department. And what we're going to be hiring, just looking ahead, is a behaviorist for the district that's going to be servicing our regional day school, and it's also going to be working within our district. We're going to be hiring registered behavior technicians to support students in their classroom, working with de-escalation and working with restraint training. And then we're also going to be expanding our special education teachers. We're looking for additional preschool teachers, which are posted online, a Wilson certified instructor. One thing we just talked about is we're going to be looking for reading specialists that will be covered under our ESSER grant, and really just expanding the opportunities to personalize learning for all students, and looking for teachers that have a knowledge of multisensory reading programs. The other thing that's come up is our related services and compensatory education services. And Mrs. Antonucci and I have been working closely to be able to procure staff that can provide these services to address student learning loss that occurred during COVID. So these are just some of the things that we're going to be doing, and we will continue to provide an update to the Board of Education and the public. We can expect Mrs. Antonucci to present something next month to the Board of Education and to the public, just to give you an update on where we are with obtaining the staff members and some of the additional programs and supports that we're putting in place. We're very excited about this. This will just be at the beginning of what will be many months of work, but this is what our students need. The other thing is that we're going to be adding an online application system for Manchester Township schools. Currently, we still have applicants that are interested in working here submitting a paper application. The other piece that's missing to that is recruitment. So we're limited on the recruitment. We do post on NJ School Jobs, and we do post on our district website. We're looking to cast a wider net, so we're going to be moving to an online system that has built-in recruitment, so that way we can start to identify talented teachers and staff members beyond just Ocean County and try to attract them to work here at Manchester Township School. I met with the high school staff to expand our dual enrollment and start to think about academies that we can offer at the high school. You'll see on the agenda tonight that we have a partnership that will be approved with Ocean County College. One of the many challenges that have been brought about in the pandemic was teacher shortage, and with that, world language teachers. So we were looking tirelessly for a French teacher. We had difficulty procuring them, and we were able to develop a partnership with OCC to offer a dual enrollment opportunity for students that are in French 4. And then we're also going to be providing an opportunity for students that are taking French 1. We were worried we weren't going to be able to offer that course, but through a private service and a purchase service, we're able to provide that to students to work in different modules to be able to still get the necessary skills and instruction that meet the standards for French 1. We're excited about that, and we're going to continue to expand our partnerships. Mr. Adams and his team are looking to work with some additional higher education universities, and then with that, offer academies that students would be able to take multiple courses throughout their high school career, and leave Manchester Township with a number of credits that they can apply to the university of their choice. The last thing that I have, Mr. Pate talked about this a little bit, but our student government representative. So the law does go into effect in September. I've been working closely with the student government advisors to see if we can have somebody join us sooner than that, just to get the ball rolling so that in September we're not starting from scratch. And we want to be able to have the system in place for our rising juniors to take over as seniors. So what I'd like to ask the Board of Education is if we would like to talk a little bit about our student government representative, and if we're okay with beginning that next month, having that representative join us here at the table.
How will they be chosen?
So the advisors had talked about doing a rotation. They also would like their current president, which is, that's the way the legislation is written, to be part of it for the first couple of meetings to get the ball rolling, and then we would rotate probably for May and June, but for next month in April, we would have our president join us, the student government, and then we would look to rotate that for May and June for some of the juniors to be a part of that.
I say yes.
Any opposition to that?
Everybody agree with that?
All right, so you can look for more detail. I'll send that via email to everybody so that way you know what to expect. But thank you for your support on that, and to the community, the teachers, staff, and administration. Thank you again for the warm welcome, and I'm very excited to work with everyone. Thank you.
Yep. Just a couple quick things. As John said, we will be holding a public board meeting on March 1st for the purpose of discussing school and departmental budgets for the 22-23 school year. These meetings will start at 5 p.m. here at the middle school. They are open to the public. This is, just so everybody knows, this is not our public hearing. We're not approving the budget on this night. This is just to have some discussion on what we're including, some of the things that we'll be dealing with in the 22-23 school year, and then we'll go from there. In that same vein, the governor postponed his budget address on February 22nd, and he's moving it to March 8th because he wants to hold a meeting in the State House. Normally that's not a big issue, but for the school districts, it's a little bit of a problem because we don't get our state aid until 2 days after the governor's budget address. So that would put us at March 10th. Budgets are due to the county office on March 21st. So if there's any major changes in state funding, obviously that's going to have a little bit of an impact on what we're doing, and we're not going to have a ton of time to figure it out. There is some information out there that says they may extend the budget deadline since he did move it back, so we're waiting to hear on that. So as we move forward, we'll develop our budget, assuming we're going to get the same state aid, and if something changes from there, then we'll make adjustments as we go. The district just recently qualified for a grant under the American Rescue Plan to help offset the cost of homeless tuition. The grant is roughly $20,000, a little short of $21,000. The district completed a short survey, and now we're just waiting on additional guidance on how to apply for these funds. And like I said, what they'll be used for is to help offset homeless tuition costs. So these are families that were in Manchester that lost their homes for whatever reason, are now in school districts and other places that we are still responsible for a period of time, and this will help us offset that. And then the last thing I have is there is a large list of equipment on the agenda for disposal. This was equipment purchased through our Title I funds far back as 2012. They are old computers, old iPads, like iPad 2s, or that we can't use anymore for instruction. They don't update. So these are things that we will be disposing of. If the board approves that tonight, basically what the district will do after that is see if there's any value in the equipment. There are companies out there that will purchase that equipment from you for a cost. We have the option to put that equipment out for bid if anybody wants to purchase it. Again, I don't know who wants a 12-year-old computer, but, we'll look at our options to see the best way to do that. We don't just take this equipment and throw it out. We do try to get something back or some value back. And that's my report.
Thank you. Do any board members have reports tonight? Please keep it short.
I would like to congratulate the Manchester High School girls cheerleaders for making it to Florida in the semifinals. I saw some pictures on social media. It looked like they were having fun. Hopefully, they'll cherish the memories that they made. Congratulations again for making it there. The CPAC will be having their virtual meeting tomorrow night. It's an open meeting, so all can attend. For more information about the CPAC, you can go to the district website, or you could email Ms. Antonucci. Again, that will be virtual and it's open to everybody. Next week, I'm excited, or on the 24th, I'm excited. Bridgeway is having their Barnes and Noble night, and I'm happy to have been invited to that, so hope to see many faces there. I also want to thank the principals for inviting us to the Read Across America, and I hope my 5th grader will be as excited to see me as my kindergarten. Thank you, everybody, for all you do.
Mr. Lister, our boys basketball team has a county conference game tomorrow night.
Second round short conference game against Burke Memorial, so it's 8 versus 9. Should be an exciting game, and if they win, they would make the quarterfinals on Sunday in Middletown.
What time is the game? It's at our high school, right?
Our game tomorrow is at 5 o'clock.
And it's at our building.
It's in our building, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anyone else?
I just have to tell you, I've heard such great things about our team when we were at Lacey. I heard that Manchester was a bunch of movie stars. The Lacey girls and the guys were all looking up at them at the basketball game. And I heard there was a lot of photography going on with the Lacey girls. They were having a fun time. They had it was a blast.
Yeah, I heard us saying they had an elementary night. We have a kid that had, I think, 3 dunks that night. And
Yes.
a lot of autographs.
Yeah.
It was a fun night for her.
Yeah, a couple of girls I teach with are at Lacey. They showed me the pictures. I said, that's amazing. So, way to go. Real fast, I just want to say I hope everybody's hanging in there. I hope all the parents are hanging and you're doing a great job, staff and administrators. I'm married to one, so I feel your pain. I know what you're doing. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, students. We really, really do. I just want to real fast just to let everybody know on the board, we have an Ocean County School Board Association meeting coming up. That's next week, February 22nd. It's at 6:30. It's virtual. The topic that my team and I came up with, which we felt is very important, near and dear to my heart, and to all of yours as well, is social emotional learning. We have Alicia D. Lorenzo coming. She's an incredible speaker. She gives a lot of motivational ideas, a lot of good yoga, a lot of good mindfulness strategies and techniques that our board members can use, take back to their boards, and we can even use them ourselves. So that's, once again, February 22nd, 6:30.
I don't like yoga. No, we're not.
I'd like to see that. What would you like to see?
It is not happening.
Doing some yoga?
It is not happening. It is not happening.
Don't ever say never.
Oh, I'm saying never.
You can sign up virtually on njsba.org. If you have a problem with getting on, please let me know. You can always reach out to me. I'm always here for you too. Everybody hang in there and take care of yourselves, okay? Take care of what you and yourself and your family. That's what's more important than anything else. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? All right, hearing none, we'll open up the floor to public participation and agenda items only. Agenda items only for public participation here. Anyone have anything they'd like to share or question? No mad rush here. All right, seeing none, close that. Ms. Lorenzo, any old business, any correspondence?
There is no old business, no questions.
Okay, then we'll move on to the action part of the meeting. Section 1A, minutes. I guess that should be 1 through 3.
Yes.
Okay, no, we're not going here. All right, need a motion?
Motion?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Staples?
Yes.
Ms. Mount?
Yes.
Mr. Kelleher?
Yes.
Mr. Servant?
Yes.
Mr. Merkin? Ms. Winkler?
Yes.
Ms. Biscardi?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes. B, travel, number 1. Need a motion?
Motion?
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Staples?
Yes.
Ms. Mount?
Yes.
Mr. Kelleher?
Yes.
Mr. Servant?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Winkler? Mr. Scardi?
Yes.
Yes. C, disposal of equipment, board mentioned by Mr. Larson. Number 1, need a motion? Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Staples?
Yes.
Ms. Mount?
Yes.
Mr. Kelleher?
Yes.
Mr. Servant?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Winkler?
Yes.
Mr. Scardi? Mr. King?
Yes. Section 2A, administrative, numbers 1 through 17. Need a motion?
Second?
Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay, what's that?
So I see that we're already planning for our extended school years, which is awesome, that we're getting this process started in February, March. I do have a couple of questions though. Jumpstart and bridging to Manchester Township Middle School for our children. Have we started thinking about those types of programs for our students? Or for non-classified students as well?
For ESY you're talking about, or just?
Well,
in
we
general?
have an ESY, but that's for our classified students. Do we have any programs like in mind for the summer to accommodate our students that are not necessarily classified, but can help bridge the gap?
Yes, we do. That should be coming next month. This is the truth, but out. So we're going to align those dates probably very closely, so that way we can share transportation. The one thing that we're looking to do is open up more than just one school specifically. So I know we would house students together at different elementaries, and have the middle school there as well. Something that we've been talking about is having our middle school students actually attend our summer programs at the middle school, so they can get acclimated to the school that they're going to be going to, or they have been going to. But in addition to ESY, what we'll see next month is that we're going to be running some Title I programs, and we're also going to be using some of our ESSER Learning Acceleration money to be able to provide programs to students in various areas, including STEAM, ELA, humanities. So that should be next month.
And my other question too, are we planning on running into the summer compensatory education programs if we need to?
So if we need to, we will. We're confident that what we're putting is and really address the learning loss. At this time right now, we aren't anticipating offering a compensatory program over the summer because we're confident that we're going to be able to do that prior to July.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any other discussion? All right, call for roll call, please.
Mr. Staples?
Yes.
Ms. Mount?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Servant?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Winkler?
Yes.
Mr. Scardi?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes. All right, B, personnel, number 1 through 26. Need a motion?
Motion?
Any discussion? Actually, I do on this one. I remember a night back in June of 2008. I came home one afternoon from work, and my son was home, which was very unusual. And he was sitting in our living room with a Marine recruiter. And I told us that the Marine recruiter was coming. And we walked in, and the Marine recruiter sitting there. First Sergeant Hinger took a very active interest in my son, and he was making some pretty, I'll say, stupid decisions on some stuff. And Hinger told him he thought the Marines might be a good choice for him. And 9 years later, he came out of the Marine Corps, a totally different person, of course, because of the incident. And my wife and I thanked First Sergeant for that. It really made a difference in our son's life. I know there's many other students that he touched in a real way while he was working for us, and we're very fortunate to have had him with us. And I really appreciate the work that he did. Sorry to see him go, but he's earned it. You know, it's twice over he's earned it. Just want to share that with you. All right, any other discussion here? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Staples?
Yes.
Ms. Mount?
Yes.
Mr. Kelleher?
Yes.
Mr. Servant?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Winkler?
Yes.
Mr. Scardi?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes. C, student personnel, number 1 through 5. Need a motion?
Motion?
Second. Any discussion?
Well, the count for number 5, approves Samantha to let a student from the university to complete counseling internship at the Manchester Township Middle School. How will that work with her teaching schedule?
So I believe that it'll happen before and after. She's also allowed to do that during her lunch and prep. So we usually accommodate that because it's a little bit different than student teaching when they're doing the internship. It's the number of hours that they have to acquire. And then also they do allow for them to do after-school counseling if need be. We're pretty confident that we'll be able to get that done with just using her lunch and prep.
Thank you. I wish you the best of luck. Great person in the future.
All right, anyone else? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Staples? Yes. Ms. Mountain?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Surback?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Winkler? Ms. Biscardi?
Yes.
Mr. Pete?
Yes. D, special services, number 1. Need a motion?
Motion? Second?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Staples?
Yes.
Ms. Mountain?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Surback?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Winkler? Ms. Biscardi?
Yes.
Mr. Pete?
Yes. E, athletics, numbers 1 and 2. Need a motion?
Motion?
Any discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Staples?
Yes.
Ms. Mountain?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Surback?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Winkler?
Yes.
Ms. Biscardi?
Yes.
Mr. Pete?
Yes. Section 3A, finance, numbers 1 through 5. Need a motion?
Motion?
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Staples?
Yes.
Ms. Mountain?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Surback?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Abstain.
Ms. Winkler? Ms. Biscardi?
Yes.
Yes. All right, welcome to board now to public participation on any item. We have a taker.
Good evening. Mr. Welch, I have 5
Make sure the mic is on, with the green light on. Like the green light on at the bottom?
Yes,
It's on,
it's
yeah.
on. Mrs. Welch, I have 5 children in the district. I'm here advocating for my 2 children in Manchester Township Elementary. I've exhausted all resources for my children receiving compensatory services. After communicating my concerns, there has been no appropriate solution to date. After hearing tonight, I heard that we will be joining another month. I have copied information provided to me from the Department of Education that states that the learning loss program that has been implemented by the district is not to be replacing compensatory services. It is to be in addition to. I have been given no guidance or guidelines as to how the program is going to be implemented or who is going to be implementing the program. I did see tonight the teachers that were approved to be implementing the program. None of them are certified or trained teachers specifically for my child's learning deficits or disabilities. So I have chosen to not participate in the program for my own children if they're not addressing their issues. It also states that there's supposed to be a collection of data. I did see that in the letter. I don't have any data to my knowledge what was collected. I did, during emails, see that my child's iReady scores have gone up. I brought them with me tonight. They are exactly the same as they were in September, as they were in January. They have not gone up. The state very clearly sets their guidelines. What sets apart compensatory services for the loss of learning program? They're 2 separate entities. I'm not understanding why I'm not getting a response when services can start for my children.
I'm happy to answer that. So have you checked your email today? Because I did respond to your email with requesting for you to come in so we could review this together. And Mrs. Antonucci and I have prepared some information that we would like to speak with you about so that way we can remedy your concerns.
I did check my email, but I have to understand, I'm feeling completely defeated. I feel like you're reading my emails and you're responding to what I'm saying, but you're not hearing me and not addressing the issues at hand. I understand you posted that a Wilson teacher is needed in district, and you said you were looking to hire 1. I have 4 children that have dyslexia, and in every single building, my children attend at MTS, at the middle school, and the high school. All of them need a certified or trained Wilson teacher. I have addressed this issue with the past administration in October. I have been pushed to the side, and I am very, very frustrated.
I hear your frustration, and what I would like to do is if you'd like to come in tomorrow, let me know what time works for you, so that way myself and Mrs. Antonucci can go over everything and provide you with some alternatives and solutions aside from looking specifically at a program, and instead look at exactly what the needs are for your children, so that way we can design a program that's personalized to them.
So I'm going to take off my parent hat at this point and put my CPAG hat on, because I'm the board member of the CPAG. Meredith is here tonight also. There's other children who also have services that are going to be participating in the program. So if they're not having Wilson trained or certified teachers either, I am not the only one that is alone. This is a systemic issue, not a personal issue. So it's great that you want to meet with me. I'm advocating for the whole community.
So I can assure you that we are working towards designing programs that are more robust than what's been offered. That's actually what took a little longer in executive, was we were talking specifically about the programs and the needs of our students in this district. And what you'll see on the next agenda, which on March 1st is our budget meeting, we're going to be taking some action. And the action that's going to be a part of that is significant changes to personnel, the addition of positions. We're looking for teachers that have certifications in other areas. And what I would like to just remind anyone that's concerned about this is there is a distinct difference between Wilson certification and being Wilson trained. And a Wilson trained teacher can provide instruction using Wilson materials. Had we not had the pandemic last year, we would have had a cohort of teachers trained in Wilson, but Wilson canceled that certification. So right now what we're looking to do is provide instruction in other multisensory programs that teachers are well trained in, including Wilson Just Words, Wilson Foundations, Stevenson, and we even have a teacher that's trained in another type of program that we can use. So what we're looking to do is maximize the talented staff that we have, and then also be able to identify additional staff that we can bring on board so we can provide some of that accelerated instruction in those areas.
So through the vetting process, I have contacted Wilson, and it specifically states, well, some teachers with multisensory structured language training have been able to use the Wilson reading system and the materials to a degree after the training of 3 days of the instructionary course. They are not recommended or considered to be trained in the program. That is right from the Wilson site.
I understand that. I spoke to our consultant today, who's Susan Frank, and she assured me that if we have teachers that have attended the 3-day introductory course, they are trained to use the materials. And as you just read, we've seen a higher degree of success in teachers that are certified. And as I shared with you, I agree.
Okay, so if that's the case, why is my son in 3rd grade and has a DRA at 3? And why is he not meeting any of his measurable goals?
So like I said, if you will come in tomorrow, we can look at that together.
So in his IEP, he has goals that are supposed to be met and supposed to be monitored every October, December, March, and May, according to the Wilson program. If the person implementing the program is not trained properly, they are not able to assess him. They're not even qualified to do a weight test, which is the assessment to see if he's making progress or not making progress.
So that's no longer the assessment that's used for Wilson, it's the WISP.
Right. But I'm saying they're not even trained in that. They're not supposed to be using it. It says right there that to assure the integrity of the program, they are to have all of these credentials. This is what they have sent me. They should hold all of these credentials.
I understand what you're saying, and again, I'd like to invite you in tomorrow so that we can look at this together. And Mrs. Antonucci will make herself available, and we can look at alternative programs, because Wilson is not the only multisensory program that is for students with dyslexia.
I understand that, but that is what is in my child's IEP that is not on compliance, because now I have measurable goals that are supposed to be being met that are not.
And I understand what you're saying, but I'd like to invite you in tomorrow so that we can look at the IEP together, and if an amendment is necessary, so that we can provide a better option for your child with a program that you feel someone is better suited to provide to your student, we can do that when we meet.
So do you think I should change my child's program because the district doesn't offer the program?
We do offer the program.
We don't have trained or certified teachers that are implementing the program. We have the tools and we purchased it, but we don't have a trained professional in the program. We have somebody who did a prelude to the program. That would be.
I'm going to agree to disagree, because we have teachers that are trained, and they would have been certified if we didn't have the pandemic last year where Wilson wasn't offered.
But they're not. Like when I called to vet them, I gave them a list of 8 that are listed that were board approved to be implementing this loss of learning program. They're not trained or certified, and they said they're not recommended to be teaching the program from Wilson. The woman, I have her name was Carol, she was very helpful, and she said, why are you vetting all of these teachers? And I said, because of the lack of staffing, we're putting people in and out, I want to make sure that my child's program is being done with fidelity. And she said, it's absolutely not, it is implementing the program.
In the directory that you're looking up is for a certified Wilson teacher, and you're absolutely right, the teachers that were approved this evening are not Wilson certified. We have 2 on there that are Wilson trained, that can provide the instruction.
But their credentials have expired, I vetted them.
No, again, can we meet about this more, because I'm not gonna use teachers' names.
I'm not
The teachers,
saying
no,
I'm saying that I know the proper thing to do, but their credentials have expired. So when you told me that it was Wilson level 1 certified, and then when I called the vet on them, they said, no, it has to be updated every 5 years.
They're not level 1 certified, they're level 1 trained. The teacher that you mentioned in your email, I acknowledged it,
I was
absolutely.
given the information, I didn't get the information, I was given it, and when I called to vet with the information I was given. So.
I understand your frustration,
It's
but
timeline to me, I've been waiting since October, and I understand that you were just walking into this, but I've been waiting since October, my son is 8, and he still can't read.
I understand your frustration, and I'd like to meet with you, with our Director of Special Services, so that way we can answer your questions directly, and that we can design a program that's suitable for your child, beginning immediately.
So the loss of learning program there's a complete differentiation between that and compensatory services, because I feel like there's like a miscommunication with that. We keep referring to it as compensatory services, but from the Department of Ed, they told me even today, I called again, and I said, they're saying it's compensatory services, and she said, loss of learning, it can be in addition to, but not in replacement of. So my children are due compensatory services because of the lack of staffing.
So if your child or your children are entitled to compensatory services, we will provide that instruction. Right now, we're offering a program that's our learning loss program, where we have teachers that are trained in programs that can provide instruction that's above and beyond the school day, which does satisfy the requirement for compensatory services.
So did anybody in the administration department or anywhere realize that also we're trying to get some kind of normalcy? MTS also implemented a program, the Art and STEM Club, and it happens to be on the same day as this loss of learning program. So because education wasn't provided, now the children have to do an extra hour of school and not go to Art or STEM Club. It's like, how do you pick? You're trying to get a sense of normalcy, but yet how do you say no to education, to extra help for your child? As a district, everybody's torn, and as a parent, this is a very disheartening situation.
May I just say
Sure.
about that last time? So any student who is currently enrolled in our STEM or our art, mindfulness art club, they're finishing that program. There's only 3 more weeks for them. Our second and third graders will have an additional 6 weeks. But when we look at the number of hours that were lost due to the substitute coverage, providing services until 2017 allowed so many additional hours that if they missed the 6 weeks.
But that wasn't communicated anywhere. So we're talking about communication surveys and all these things, that wasn't communicated. Nobody said that to the parents. So if you're looking at it and you're like, oh my gosh, I want my child to participate in the STEM club, we've been waiting for a sense of normalcy, want them to go to the art club. But oh my gosh, they're so far behind. You look at their scores, look at their IEP report. How do you choose? Of course they're gonna stay after for extra help, and then you see all of their friends walking over to art club. It's disgusting. This is not a good situation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Meredith, we have to finish.
Someone else?
Yeah, more than that, see why.
Okay.
Hi, Meredith Brooks. Chair for the CPED. I'm Manchester. Just want to let everyone know that we have put out a survey for about a week. We had 60 responses, which was fantastic. Our email is posted on the district website. We looked at 5 areas with specificity. The first one that came out was understanding your current IEP. Then we looked at understanding the IEP process, timelines, accommodations versus IEP modifications, developing plans to enhance communication, and IEP maintenance, timelines, revisions, and things like that. So March 10th in our CPAD closed meeting, we will be talking with our members about understanding their current IEP. I know that the other thing that across the board, one of the systemic issues was providing emotional support inclusively in the district. I was wondering if you had thought about effective school solutions, the ESS program. I have found it very successful. We have a population that have lost many family members through COVID, and this can be offered for anyone, regular or special ed students. Also, students that are struggling to reintegrate back into the community, into an in-person learning, there are supports through this program that are really beneficial, and it will take some of the pressure off your child study teams, your guidance counselors, and things like that.
Thank you. So the ESS program, Mrs. Antonucci is very familiar with. She used it in her previous district. We are exploring some options. I will say in short that Mrs. Antonucci is very knowledgeable, and she's going to bring some great things to the district, including some wraparound services for our students. We're looking closely at the middle school and high school to be able to provide some of the social and emotional supports that we're seeing are necessary, coming out of the heels of a pandemic. In addition to that, we're working closely with our administration, with our guidance counselors and our CST to be able to train them in some of those social emotional practices and the competencies. So we agree with you, ESS is really, really great. It's quite expensive, but I think it's it's an investment for the district. So I hope that next month we can present some information either about being part of that program or at least finding pieces of that program that we can begin with implementation within our current budget and then possibly work with Mr. Lorenzen to support that perhaps with our IDEA money for next year.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, ladies. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share or question or bring to our attention? All right, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? Thank you very much. Hope to see you on March 1st when we have our budget.